and welcome to a brand new episode of Smart Money. Now, this week, the Bitcoin surged to $63,000 for the first time since November 2021. Spot Bitcoin ETFs are seeing massive inflows of money, and the big event to watch in April 2024 will be Bitcoin halving, ahead of which there is massive interest in this asset class. But what does this mean for the crypto ecosystem, and how can you build a portfolio? Joining us now is Vikram Subburaj, the co-founder and CEO of Giottus Technologies. Vikram, thank you so much for joining me. First, if we can start, just at the top, right? I mean, what is the reason for this big surge that we've seen in the price of Bitcoin?
Okay, so when we talk about cryptocurrencies, we have to understand that this is an asset which has been there for the past 10 to 13 years now. So there is a price discovery that is happening over a period of time. So here the price discovery is happening in cycles of 4 years. Let's keep it as simple as that. Now, why is it happening in a cycles of 4 years? Because there is a supply side restriction that is happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem every 4 years, which is leading to an impact in the prices. Now, coupling with this, a big event had happened in the crypto ecosystem, which is the Bitcoin Spot ETF. This was a much awaited event. And when the Bitcoin Spot ETF was approved, what had happened was it had paved way for a lot of old money or the institutional investors and family offices, all these people to get into the Bitcoin rally. Now, when these institutional players got into the Bitcoin ETF, what had created in turn was an increase in prices and the price rallying after that. Now, this, which is going to be coupled along with the halving event. Halving is basically a restriction of supply of the new Bitcoins which are going to enter into this ecosystem. So both these things are creating an extremely positive effect on prices. This is a rally that, if you ask most of the crypto players, they would say that we had already predicted that this rally would happen. Ideally, with the supply side restriction, this is what we have seen in the past 3 halvings that has happened before. And ideally, there is nothing that is out there in the market to prove us wrong this time that, such a rally could not happen this time. What was somewhere around $16,000 in 2022, somewhere during November, December, Bitcoin prices, we are talking about an all-time high reaching at $64,000 just 2 days back, which has corrected, and now it's somewhere at $62,000. So both Bitcoin Spot ETF, the effect of that, and a huge amount of funds flowing in, somewhere around $7.7 billion that have flowed in through ETF, along with the news of a supply that is going to get restricted, is creating a very good positive impact on the Bitcoin prices now.
So that's very interesting. You're saying that the 2 reasons for the surge that we're seeing in the price of Bitcoin, one is, of course, the spot ETF and the kind of money that is getting. But the other one is Bitcoin halving, which is an event that will happen in April of this year and happens once in 4 years. Vikram, explain to us slightly in more detail for a layman, right? What exactly is Bitcoin halving? And what has happened in the previous halvings? Has the price gone up substantially? What can we expect going forward?
Yeah, so let's not get into too technical stuff. I'll just state 2 facts and I'll just explain how halving is going to work. One, there is not going to be more than 21 million Bitcoins that are ever going to be generated into the ecosystem, right? So 21 million Bitcoins is the limit of Bitcoins that can ever enter into the ecosystem. So when I say enter into the ecosystem, what I mean is these 21 millions are not issued right away, and we cannot have all the supply from the day one. So what the algorithm takes care is, as you know, this is a decentralized ecosystem. Let us consider that it's a decentralized database. To make an entry into this database, we need the help of people called miners. Let's just consider them as general accountants who are going to help us make these entries into the blockchain database. So for doing this activity, they are going to get a reward. So what is this reward? This reward is again in Bitcoins. So the new Bitcoins that are going to enter into the ecosystem are these rewards which are given to the miner, and these miners, and then they go do secondary trades so that they can get their fiat currencies or other money to take care of their expenses. So this reward was initially 50 Bitcoins to begin with. And every 4 years, this new issuance of Bitcoin is going to get halved. Now, let us consider, and on average, every 10 minutes, this reward is given to a miner. So every 10 minutes, In 2009, 2010, a miner got 50 Bitcoins that he could use, but the price at that point of time was very low. It was, the founder, Satoshi Nakamoto, or is it a person or a group of people, had this foresight that over the period of time, the prices might appreciate, and there is no need to incentivize the miners to a greater level. So it was built in the program that every 4 years, this incentive is going to get halved. So what started in 50 Bitcoins in the first halving, it went to 25, then 12.5. Now the last one, now what's running is 6.25. And in this halving, it would get down to 3.125 Bitcoins. Now, what is ideally happening here is now suddenly, now for example, within a day, there were 900 Bitcoins that were issued into the ecosystem. That is going to get halved now to 450 Bitcoins. Now you understand the impact, right? Suddenly a huge supply restriction is going to happen.
Absolutely.
This, during every halving, has got a positive impact on prices that we have seen.
The other big event to watch out for is the Ethereum ETF, right? Spot ETF. Tell us a little bit about that. Are you expecting it, or is it just, is it just hope that people have? And once that happens, then what is the kind of move that we're expecting to see?
Yeah, if you had asked me this question a year back, I would have said maybe, we don't know. We have not seen things like this happen. But now we are all bullish, right? We have seen the Bitcoin ETF, right? There is all the more reason that an Ethereum ETF could get approved. And the best thing is Ethereum as an asset class has been doing a lot of innovations month over month. When we look into any particular blockchain ecosystem, they are having an impact of what Ethereum is doing in its own ecosystem. They're taking a learning that Ethereum has done and they're implementing in their blockchain ecosystems as well. So, and the community that Ethereum has also been massively growing, and the improvements that they're doing on chain and also on the future plans, they seem to be very solid. Now, this solid tech, along with an approval of an ETF, is just going to be a massive event that is going to happen in this ecosystem. Now, why this ETF is very important, right? Now let's just take a quick understanding and example. Now, when you wanted to buy a Bitcoin in India, for example, okay, I'm not saying there's an option to buy in India to buy an ETF. I'm just quoting how it simplifies things. Now, till date, if you had to buy, you had to come to a crypto exchange, you had to buy from us, you have to know what a wallet is, and you have to do your withdrawals and everything. Now, imagine the same thing being delivered in your general brokerage account. Be it your Zerodha or Angel Broking or anyone with general brokerage account, you can just go buy a Bitcoin, which is something that you're usually used to, right? You don't have to learn anything to buy something here. That is the biggest effect an ETF has had.
Correct.
And that is the biggest adoption driver that is going to happen.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
I mean, it's very similar to a Nifty ETF, right? Or a Nifty index fund or whatever, where you really don't need to know much. It's just like a index that you're sort of replicating. Got it. But, Vikram, as you and I know, for many investors, even today, the absence of a regulator is a big concern in cryptocurrencies. Where are we at currently in terms of regulation? What is the kind of work that has been done in the last 6 months? And what else needs to be done to strengthen the ecosystem?
Yeah. So let's just start with the obvious point here. Is the crypto ecosystem regulated? No, crypto ecosystem is not regulated in India yet. So the next question comes, so does it mean that it is not legal to trade or to hold in cryptocurrency? No. You can trade in cryptocurrencies, you can hold cryptocurrencies, you can transfer it to your friend, you can receive it from your friend. So that's all legal in India to be done. So what has happened in the regulatory front over the past couple of years? The first major regulatory intervention that had happened was in the form of taxes. There was a tax that was introduced that had put cryptocurrency gains to have a 30% income tax, coupled along with a 1% TDS when there is a sell that is made or when there is a transfer of asset that is made. Now, when we move on, yes, it is a hefty tax. Definitely, we would want the governments to really relook into the taxes. Now, apart from this tax, now what had happened, one of the biggest things that had happened in the ecosystem was all the crypto entities having bought under the FIU registration. So why is this very critical, right? So what is FIU? FIU is the Financial Intelligence Unit of India, which takes care of money laundering and terrorist financing intelligence in India. So why is it important for the ecosystem? Part A, one of the biggest concerns or codes that everyone gave against the crypto ecosystem was about money laundering and terrorist financing. This directly addresses that. Now, we as ecosystem players, now we are part of addressing the factor that this ecosystem will not have any such issues, or we will fight to the level that, we are going to take this from this ecosystem. So now we have become a part of this committee, or we have become a part of this institution which is fighting against money laundering. That rather than being few years back where we were on the opposite side getting a lot of flair for the government agencies and the general crowd saying that maybe a lot of ransoms and money laundering is happening through crypto. So with the FIU registration coming in, a lot of crypto entities also have gone to heavy learning here on compliance. We've implemented a lot of compliance measures, new KYC norms, enhanced due diligence norm. We are moving towards a zone of acting or having compliance similar or even better than banks in most of the cases, right? So that is one big intervention that has happened. Now, post that, we do have other general norms that we follow. Like we've got an advertising guidelines that we follow now, which is again strict guidelines that we follow. Now, what has also happened, if you notice in
Sure,
G20,
Vikram,
we have...
you know what we have, I got your point. So you're saying that a lot of regulatory issues have been addressed and the ecosystem has become a bit stronger in the cryptocurrency space. We just have to take a short commercial break, and we're getting a lot of queries coming from our investor friends. So we'll do one thing, we'll come back with our guest in just a bit to talk more about cryptocurrencies, and we'll also address all of your queries in just a bit. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Smart Money. Guess what? The Bitcoin is back. This was a big week for the Bitcoin. It surged past $63,000 for the first time in the last 2.5 years. So we're in conversation with Vikram Subburaj, who's the co-founder and CEO of Giottus Technologies, which is a crypto platform, to understand how you can build a portfolio, what are the legalities, what is the taxation angle, and the revival, so to speak, of the cryptocurrency space. But let's address some viewer queries now, Vikram. There are many that are coming in. Bharat has asked us, how is Dogecoin and Shiba Inu going to perform going forward? Your thoughts here.
I mean, okay, wow. Okay. So the first thing is, let's get it straight. Doge and Shiba are meme coins, right? Usually when we analyze a crypto, what we look into it is, what is the fundamentals behind the crypto? What is the problem it is trying to solve? What is the new innovation that is getting into the ecosystem? Or what's the plan way forward in these cryptos, that could help adoption come in or help increase, some use cases that should come into the ecosystem. Meme coins are a separate set of cryptocurrencies which are more adoption oriented. It's more of users coming in who are going to keep increasing the prices in future. Doge and Shiba are more going to be playful investments that you guys can do, right? I would not generally suggest having a very large portfolio in Doge or Shiba or any of the meme coins per se. It's a bet you guys are taking, nothing much to add there.
I love the way you've called it playful investments, right? I mean, that's putting it very mildly. These are quite volatile in terms of movements, and you would want to also caution investors perhaps not to invest too much of their money into meme coins, because we've seen the volatility in the past. Got it. Next up, Ankur Singh Tomar asks us, what's your view on Mana and Sandbox? Now, these are game fee coins, right? So, or game fee tokens rather. But tell us a little bit, for someone who has no understanding of this, what is your view?
Yeah, see, now gaming as an ecosystem has been drastically growing. Now you don't have to look into a lot of data to see it. You can just go see the kids at home, how much of time is being spent in gaming nowadays. And gaming that is going to be coupled with an ownership of land or something that is going to do with virtual reality or augmented reality has got a good future to grow or a good scope to grow. Now, Mana and Sandbox definitely had a good rally in the previous cycles. They could have a good impact going forward as well. But gaming definitely had a lot of rallies. But I would say on gaming industry per se, just have a little wait and watch. There's definitely going to be a rally post Bitcoin, Ethereum price have increased. You're going to see a lot of altcoins that is going to rally as well. Gaming, you just have to wait for some more time to see if the prices are going to be impacted there. Don't enter into it so soon yet.
Okay, don't enter into any of these gaming coins so soon. Just wait a bit.
No, wait and watch. maybe SIPs and that, yeah.
Okay, got it. Fair enough. Akshay Vora has asked us, what is your view on Ethereum? And we were talking about this, right? As to after the Bitcoin spot ETF, now all eyes will be on the Ethereum spot ETF and the possibility there. Is that your expectation as well? And what's your own view?
Yeah, see, there is definitely all reasons to believe that, an Ethereum spot ETF is going to get approved. Now, Bitcoin ETF being approved was the biggest barrier that could be there. Now, May 31st is the last deadline for Ethereum spot ETF. We don't see any blockers there. And when that happens, definitely Ethereum as a cryptocurrency has done wonders, right? It has checked all boxes, all the innovation boxes it has checked, and all the future plans also, they look very solid. Um, I mean, a lot of people quote it as the internet bond, right? Because you can generate yield by, holding and being part of the proof of stake, and you can generate yield out of it. So it's also called, a type of a bond that you can hold even to generate yield. So Ethereum is really solid. An ETF will just going to accelerate its growth in prices. It's one of those cryptocurrencies where you can talk about a lot of use cases, right? So, and a use case that people could easily relate to as well. So yes, definitely, I'm very, very bullish on Ethereum spot ETF and the price rallies post that.
Okay, so Vikram is very, very bullish on the Ethereum spot ETF coming through. And if and when that comes through, it could be great for the price of Ethereum as well. Akshan Behel asks us, since crypto is heavily taxed in India, does it make sense as a long-term investment? I think a lot of us have this query, right? Your view?
Yeah, so I've always said this, crypto as a short-term investment is what doesn't make sense, right? So it is a volatile asset. Let us be very clear. Now, in a volatile asset, if you want to have a short-term investment or you're bringing in your short-term funds, mostly what is going to happen is the time when you're going to need that fund and you want to exit out of the market, it's not going to be a great timing. This is an industry where it is extremely tech dependent, right? See, Ethereum as a product has to innovate, has to create some use cases, has to bring in adoption. Now, this will not happen in 3 months time frame or 6 months time frame, right? So it will take a year or year and a half for another new intervention in this tech to happen. So that is why in every 2 years, you're going to see a good price rally that is going to happen in Bitcoin or in Ethereum or even a couple of other altcoins as well. So you have to look it up as a long-term investment in the crypto ecosystem, somewhere around 2 to 3 years, whatever the funds that you don't need, that is what you have to bring it into this ecosystem. Now, when you're going to bring that and you're going to hold it, we call it hodl in the crypto ecosystem, not hold, right? So when you hodl it, what is going to do in the matter of 2 to 3 years, you can just take the prices of Bitcoin or Ethereum over the period of 2 years, it has just 3x every 3x or at least done a 1.5x every 2 years, right? So that is what the asset can give it to you if you hold it for a longer term. For short-term investment, I think again, maybe 20 to 15% of your crypto portfolio, you can do some playful investments in short term and then try to play the price rally. But you have to generally look it up as a long-term investment. That is when you can make a lot of money here.
Okay, all right. This was very, very helpful. Vikram, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We've run out of time, but not out of questions. So maybe we'll have a round two of all of your cryptocurrency questions and queries. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Smart Money. Thanks a lot for watching.